10 years ago, I lived in a small village. I was only 18 years old, young, and naive. There was a boy in the village named Alex. He was handsome and many girls liked him. I liked him too. At that time, Alex was 23 years old. He was older than me, but I didn't care. I loved him. I believed he was kind and good, even though people said bad things about him. My mother told me Alex is not a good boy. Stay away from him. My aunt said he was trouble, but I didn't listen because I loved him so much. One Saturday night, there was a dance party in our village. My friends and I wanted to go, but my mother didn't want me to. She said it wasn't safe. I begged her, "Please, Mom, I'll stay." With my friends, she finally agreed, though she was still worried. At the party, there weren't many people at first, but slowly more arrived. Alex came too. He looked at me and smiled, and my heart started beating fast. He asked me to dance, and I was so happy. We danced together. During the slow songs, he held my hand, and during the breaks, we talked. He made me laugh. When the party ended, Alex said, "Let's go for a drive." I was excited and said, "Okay." Alex had a nice car. Everyone in the village knew about it. We drove around the village. It was quiet and dark, and the stars ... The stars were shining, and I felt happy, but then Alex drove to a lonely place. There were no lights and no people around. He stopped the car and looked at me, then came closer and tried to kiss me. I said, "No, Alex, I want to go home," but he didn't listen. He grabbed my hand and touched me. I pushed him away and shouted, "Stop, Alex," but he got angry. "You're boring," he said, then opened the car door and pushed me out. I was alone. It was dark and cold, and I was scared. My house was far away, so I started walking. My feet hurt because my shoes weren't good for walking. I walked 3 kilometers in the dark. When I got home, I was tired, and my feet had blisters. I sat on my bed and cried. My heart was broken. I had loved Alex, but he didn't care about me. The next day, I told my friends what happened. They said, "Alex is always like this." He did the same to us. I asked, "Why didn't you warn me?" And they said, "Everyone knows. We thought you knew too." I learned an important lesson that night. I became stronger and stopped thinking about Alex. 2 years later, I moved to the city. I worked hard and built a good life. Now I'm 28 years old, married, and happy. I'm waiting for my first baby. Alex is not the same anymore. My friends told me he drinks too much and had 2 bad marriages. His wives left him. I feel lucky because my life is good. I believe everything happens for a reason. Sometimes I think about that night. It was hard, but it made me strong. When I was 20 years old, I lived in the city and worked in a small bookstore. Every day I walked to work. I liked my job, the smell of books, and talking to people. One day, it started raining ... I didn't have an umbrella, so I stood under a tree, waiting for the rain to stop. Suddenly, a man came up to me holding a big red umbrella. "Do you need help?" he asked. I looked at him. He was tall and seemed kind. He smiled, and I nodded. "Yes, thank you," I said. He walked with me to the bookstore. His name was Daniel, and he worked in an office nearby. Before he left, he asked, "Can I see you again?" I smiled and said, "Maybe." The next day, Daniel came to the bookstore. He bought a book and then another one the day after. Soon, he started coming every day. We talked about books, movies, and life. Dan was funny. He made me laugh. Slowly, I started to like him. One day, he asked, "Do you want to go for coffee?" I said yes, and we went to a small cafe near the bookstore. It was nice. Daniel told me about his family. He had a younger sister he loved very much, and he dreamed of traveling the world. I told him about my family too. I was an only child, and my parents lived far away. I missed them sometimes. We started meeting often, going to the park, the movies, and the museum. I was happy. But then one day, Daniel stopped coming to the bookstore. I waited for him. A week passed, then two. I felt sad. Where is he? I asked myself. I wanted to call him, but I didn't have his number. One evening, it started raining again as I walked home, feeling lonely. Suddenly, I saw a red umbrella. It was Daniel. He was waiting for me outside my building, and my heart jumped. Where were you? I asked. I'm sorry, he said. I had to visit my sister. She was sick. I smiled and said, I'm glad you're back. Daniel held the umbrella over me and said, let's go for a walk. We walked in the rain. The streets were shiny and wet, and the city lights sparkled. I felt warm inside. After that, we spent more time together. Daniel made me believe in love. He was kind and patient. Years passed, and now I'm 30 years old. Daniel and I are married, and we live in a small house with a garden. Sometimes, when it rains, we take our red umbrella and go for a walk. I think about the day we met. Life is full of surprises. Sometimes something small like an umbrella can change everything. Thank you for watching and spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the story and found it helpful in your English learning journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more stories and lessons. Let me know your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and share. Asterisk.